Dog don't like puss. Once upon a time, Brother Dog and Brother Puss went over to Brother Anansi's to eat lunch. The sun was very hot, and Brother Dog and Brother Puss were very hungry. Brother Anansi thought he would make some fun of Brother Dog and Brother Puss. Brother Anansi liked to make trouble and felt he was very smart. Brother Dog and Brother Puss, said Anansi to his hungry friends, I have cornmeal porridge today for lunch, and it has plenty of milk in it. Brother Dog and Brother Puss listened as their mouths ran water. They both loved cornmeal porridge. But, said Brother Anansi, you will have to see who can eat it the hardest and the fastest. I can eat cornmeal porridge very fast and hot, boasted Brother Dog. No one can beat me on that. I bet you that you can't eat the cornmeal porridge as hot and fast as Brother Puss, said Brother Anansi. You want to bet? Said Brother Dog. Okay, said Brother Anansi. Anansi was very smart. He called Brother Puss and told him a secret. Brother Puss, he said, ask Brother Dog if you can take your porridge off the fire and put it in the hot sun. Tell him you like your porridge very hot, and the sun will make it hotter than fire. Okay, Brother Anansi, that is a good idea, said Brother Puss. So Brother Puss went to Brother Dog and said, Brother Dog, I want my porridge to be hotter than yours. I would take it off the fire and put it in the hot sun. Okay, Brother Puss, you do as you want, but I will make my own stay on the little fire, said Brother Dog. Brother Dog thought that Brother Puss was very silly. The sun is very hot, and his porridge is going to get hotter than my own on the little fire, he said to himself. Brother Dog did not know that this was one of Anansi's tricks. While Brother Puss's porridge was in the sun, it got cool, but Brother Dog's porridge got very hot. Time now, shouted Brother Anansi. On your mark, get set, go! Brother Puss started to eat very quickly. Brother Dog, wanting to win, tried to swallow it all. Wow! 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 Cried Brother Dog as the hot porridge burned his mouth. Brother Dog now knew that he had been tricked. He started to run after Brother Puss. And from that day, Brother Dog is still running after Brother Puss. Jenny never did anything right. Jenny never did anything right. Her mother would tell her to start the fire. Just as she got the fire going, the wind would come and blow it out. Then her mother would say, Girl, you don't know better? You can't start the fire when the wind is blowing. Sometimes her mother would ask her to look after the pot on the fire. Jenny would stay by the fire, but every time the water would boil out and everything would stick to the pot. Her mother would say, Girl, you don't know better? You let the dinner stick to the pot. Jenny would go to get water for the house. The water would splash out as she walked. That made the ground muddy. Then the little children would track mud into the house. Her mother would say, Jenny, you are a big girl. Look at the mud. Girl, you can't do anything right. Jenny tried to do things right, but most of the time the wind blew out the fire. Most of the time the water would boil out of the pot, and the little children always tracked the mud into the house. Jenny was not a happy girl. She wanted to do things right. She always tried, but something always happened. One day she stopped on the way home from school. She sat on the bank under a plum tree. She put her head into her hands. She was thinking how to do things right. Suddenly, she saw an old woman sitting beside her. She had a red cloth on her head. "Why do you look so sad, little girl?" she asked. "Because I can't do anything right," said Jenny. The old woman said, "I am old, so come and help me." Jenny was a kind girl, so she went to the old woman's house. That house was right beside the road. It was funny that she had not seen it before. The old woman asked her to start the fire. "The wind will blow it out," said Jenny. "Then shut the door," said the old woman. So Jenny shut the door, and the wind could not blow out the fire. The next day, Jenny met the old woman again. "Little girl," she said, "I am old. Can you look after the pot for me?" "The water will boil out," said Jenny. "Then put more water in the pot, or turn the fire down," said the old woman. "If I go for more water, it will splash out. It will make the ground muddy," said Jenny. "Then do not fill the pan," said the old woman. "You can always go again for more water." After a time, Jenny could start the fire, look after the pot, and carry water. She could do many things at home. Her mother said, "Jenny, you're learning to do things right." Jenny laughed, but she did not tell her about the old woman. She wanted to tell the old woman what had happened. By helping her, Jenny had learned how to do things right. So the next day, she stopped by the bank. The old woman was not there. The house was not there. Jenny thought she might not be in the right place, but the old plum tree was there. She looked around, but there was no one. It was a good thing she had not told anybody about the old woman. Maybe it was a dream, but even if it was a dream, she had still learned to do things right. The letter. Clive did not like to go to school. Some days when his granny sent him to school, he did not go. When he did not go to school, he went to play and pick mangoes. He would play bat and ball with other boys who did not go to school. Clive's granny did not know about this. She thought that he went to school when she sent him. When Clive came home, his granny would say, "How was school today, Clive?" Clive would say, "It was nice, Granny." When she asked him if he got homework, he would say, "I did it right after school, Granny." Granny thought he was speaking the truth. She thought Clive was doing well at school. Clive's teachers soon began to see that he was not coming to school every day. She also saw that when he came to school, he was very sad. One day, Clive's teacher gave him a letter to give his granny. He did not know what was written in the letter. He took home the letter and gave it to his granny. "Here is a letter, Granny. Teacher gave it to me for you," he said. Granny wanted to see what was in the letter. She wanted to know what the teacher had to say about Clive, so she opened the letter and read it. 20 days! Clive was not in school for 20 days, said Granny as she read the letter. "Clive, Clive," she cried. "There was not one day that I did not send you to school. But your teacher says in this letter that for 20 days you have not been in school." Clive did not answer. He held down his head. His granny started to cry. She tried so much to help Clive. She wanted him to go to school so that one day he could help himself. Clive started to cry too. He did not like to see Granny cry. He loved his granny. The next day, Granny took Clive to school. She took him to see his teacher. Teacher, I sent Clive to school every day, said Granny, but he looks as if he did not go on some days. I see, said Clive's teacher, and when he comes to school, he looks so sad. They all looked at Clive as he held down his head. Why do you stay away from school, Clive? Asked his teacher. Clive did not answer. He held down his head and put his hand in his mouth. Are you afraid of somebody? Asked his teacher. No, miss, said Clive. Then why do you stay away from school? She asked. Clive started to cry. The boys and girls laugh at me when I try to read, he said. They can read, but I can't. You can learn to read, Clive. If you want to learn, you will learn. You must try. The children did not help by laughing, but I will help you after school. Clive stopped crying and held up his head. If you help me after school, I will learn, miss. Then they will not laugh at me. I will even learn to read better than those who laugh at me. Granny and teacher were glad to hear this. All of them began to smile.